Hello, and welcome to this edition of Immucor Mini. My name is Tricia Sanders, and it is my honor to introduce our special guest, Dr. Rajalingam. Dr. Rajalingam is the HLA Lab Director at University of California, San Francisco. Welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for taking the time to chat with us today. Let's start our time together by telling us a little bit about the facility where you work, what size, specialties, those kinds of things.
So, I run the lab in UCSF. It's a big transplant program. We have 5,000 people waiting for kidney transplant in our centers. This is roughly 5% of the entire U.S. wait list. We do closer to 400 kidney transplants per year. In addition to that, we do around 60 lung transplant, 20 heart, then over 100 bone marrow transplant. So we provide the service pre-transplant, the time of transplant, as well as post-transplant immune monitoring. So that's what we do. So we have 35 people in the lab.
Oh, that's a lot of people.
It's a 24/7 operation, busy place.
Well, let me ask you this. Can you walk us through your lab's process for finding a compatible transplant for, let's just start with a typical patient, not someone too terribly difficult?
It's easy. I mean, it's not only our center, it's any center. Yes, it's like you take all the patients waiting for the kidney, you can put them in two different buckets. 70% of the patients are easy to go. So they are unsensitized patients. They are either male, never had any transplant, or woman, no pregnancy. So they never make any antibodies because they've never been exposed to previously to the HLA. So they are easy to go. The rest of the 30% of the patients are sensitized patients. Okay. There's a lot of degree of level of sensitization, but so the 70% you can say those are easy patients, or routinely you can get transplant. So those are the initial typing. We do the typing, HLA typing, which is what type of HLA types the patient has, what is the donor typing. Then we also measure HLA antibodies using very sensitive single antigen methods. So once you have that, then you can simply avoid if the patient make any antibodies. You can just exclude the donor. So if there is no antibodies, any donor can be compatible. So that's the easy process. So the complicated patient or the sensitized patients, again, majority, until like 20% of the patients, you can identify what antibody the patient has. Then you can avoid those the donors carrying those antigens. So I can say that 20% of sensitized patients are also kind of easygoing patients. So
those are easygoing patients.
Easygoing. So when we are talking about the 10%, which is highly sensitized or tough patients who find a compatible kidney.
Let's just go there. How does your lab, what's the process, what's the extended testing that you guys are doing for this subset of patients?
So I think that's something very unique. We do it at UCSF. The tough patients, like a 10% or 10 to 15% of the patients, they are highly sensitized, like a 80 to 100% CPRA. So those patients, like when I say it's a more numbers, so that's tough. Like 100%, it's hard to find a compatible kidney. So when you say 100%, so that means 100% of the UNOS donors in the last 12 years not compatible because of antibodies. So here, our innovation from the UCSF side is how can we help these patients? Can we take out some of these antibodies, which is not going to hurt the graft? So that's why we use like HLA-C antibodies. People talk about can we take out some of those antibodies which is not even binding to the cells. So you can see like a 20,000 MFI on single antigen read, but it's not causing the cross-match positives. So can we just exclude those antibodies? So that's what we did, a series of transplantations, taking out those HLA-C antibodies out of the equation, then we transplanted the graft, and the graft's very fine. So that's kind of one innovation. Then the people, the 100% or 99 to 100% highly sensitized patients, most of those patients are pre-transplant candidates.
Okay.
So they make antibodies to all kind of HLA molecules, A, B, C, D, R, D, Q. So like 80% of the patients making antibodies to A, B, C, D, R, D, Q. On the top, they have DP antibodies. So the 100% doesn't include this DP antibodies. So you have 100% CPRA, then the tons of DP antibodies. So if you want to avoid all those all the donor carrying those antigens, those patients never get transplantation.
Oh.
So what we do, we exclude those DP antibodies. So this is what we started a project. Is a patient, he's a second transplant, he needs a second kidney transplantation. So he sensitized 100% CPRA. Then, fortunately, he got here donor compatible because the patient carrying very common HLA haplotypes. So he got a compatible donor. It's compatible across all those except the DP. So then, unfortunately, the patient already made the DP antibodies. So it's like a 20,000 MO5. So then we decided, okay, I personally talked to the surgeon. This situation, this patient never will have another donor offer with such a highly compatible, fully matched except the one DP mismatch. So only two ways: either we transplant, knowing the risk, say we put the kidney, then ready to treat. Then maybe surprise, or take out the patients out of the list, guys. So only two way. So we have a great team of surgeon, nephrologists, the whole team. You name it, anyone is all patient oriented. So I think that's the beauty of it's not just HLA people or the surgeons, it's a teamwork.
Yeah.
So the surgeon was with me. So okay, let's do that. So let's do the cross match. So we did the cell-based cross match, flow cross match. So 20,000 MO5, we expect this extremely positive cross match. But it turned to be like a borderline. It's like our cutoff value is 120. Then the cross match comes to like 130 or 36 something. So it's a borderline. So you can even call negative. Then surgeon was happy to transplant. But we gave like a one dose IVIG, just 1 day post operated, just because it can trigger some memory response. So we gave just one dose, high dose IVIG, then we monitor like 3 days, 4 days. But the patient was making urine. So that's what we started. Then since then, we have transplanted like over 100 kidney transplant crossing DP antibodies, despite of high MO5, despite of 2 DP DSAs, and cross match can be even positive. There are 10 patients we transplant with a positive B cell cross match with like a 250 million channel cell. So there no additional desensitization, just one dose IVIG. I'm not even sure that IVIG does something. But if you look at the post-transplant DSAs, the trend is going down. But the rest of not only donor-specific DP antibody, but all DP antibodies going down. You don't even see them in 6 months. But other HLA antibodies stays there in the body. So it's HLA. DP seems to be very unique antibodies. I'm not even sure it is considered to be like a classical histocompatibility antigens. So that's the one aspect that we are helping. So now we just ignore the DP antibodies. It is not the classical histocompatibility antigens. So we are collecting. I presented this data in several meetings. It was okay. So it's okay to transplant now. What's the long-term survival? People ask that question. So that's why we are collecting the data. So now we have some of the patients. We have like a 3-year survival.
Okay.
So none of them rejected. So we are collecting all the pathology data. We're putting together as a publication. So that's the one thing. Then the second thing is again constantly thinking how can we healthiest people having 100% CPR because that's the challenge.
Right.
So the second thing is we don't list, so that means we don't list any DP antibodies in the unit as avoids for our patients. So then we also don't list any of the allele-specific antibodies as an avoid because people talk about the allele-specific antibodies, but we cross the allele-specific antibodies. So allele-specific antibodies can be 10,000, it never binds to the cells, or our flow cytometry is not very sensitive to detect this positive cross-match or the binding nature of the single allele-specific antibodies. So we found a cool experiment. So you take the classical A2 cross-reactive antibodies. Is known for since HLA was invented. So the antibody means it's not like a one antigen, one antibody. It's always like cross-reactive. The antibody hits in multiple HLA molecule that share the common motif, so epitope, CMS, whatever you call it. So there's a A2 crack, how we call them, that involves A2, 68, 69, 57, 58, and A24, 23, and 24. So when you have the antibodies, it's all these 6 HLA molecules lights up. So, but some serum, some patients make not one liter, not for the entire panel of A2 crack. Some patients missing B57, A2, 68, A23, 24, no B57. So, some patients missing A68, you have A2, 68 is missing, but 57, 58. Some patients making antibodies only to HLA-A2. You don't see other cross-reactive antibodies.
Really?
Yeah. So that's you can see that in the clinical situations. So what we did, so we took the serum from all these 5 different groups, so the full cracked antibody reactive, then the partial cracked antibody individuals. Then we take the T cells from the individuals, the healthy individuals, having only A2, missing other components like B57 negative, 28 negative. Then you cross-match them. So only the target is only A2, but the serum has a different antibody. So when you cross-match the one having full crack or the one with the A2 and is 68, A28, that binds the cells. Rest of them doesn't bind. For example, if the patient has only A2 antibodies, could be like a 20,000 MF5, doesn't cause positive cross-match. So now the question is, can I transplant these patients crossing A2? We never did it, but that's what we are going to move forward.
Wow.
So if the patient make only A2 antibodies, it is easy to avoid the A2 positive body, that's okay. But if the patient make like hundreds of antibodies on the top A2, I probably want to ignore the A2.
Right.
So that's the idea. So that means if A2, that standalone antibodies, allele-specific antibody, doesn't bind to the cells, that means all other allele-specific antibodies play no role. So that's what we did on another level of project. So any allele-specific antibodies, we just never see any positive cross-match. The patient, we did so many transplantations, I don't have the number, but you don't see any graft rejection. So that's like a third innovation. So the fourth one is, so not all HLA antibodies are same. So the people make antibodies because of their pregnancies, multiple pregnancies, or previous transplantation, also due to the transfusions. But these antibodies are not same. So like the transfusion-induced antibodies, you can see the high MF5 antibodies, but those antibodies are not stable. It's a transient, so you don't see them in 6 months.
Okay.
And when you put the kidney back, those antibodies never come back. There's no memory responses generated. So this all something new things. It can happen only in the big transplant programs because we have a lot of patients waiting, and a lot of patients are highly sensitized. So we have kind of opportunity to it's a kind of pressure to do this transplant.
Wow.
So we did so many transplant crossing or ignoring the historical antibodies. When you say historical antibodies, those are not persistent in the current serum. Those historical antibodies happens because of transfusion, because it's not stable, it's not
One last question, and we're asking all of our speakers this question. So, what is your lab's favorite thing to do or favorite activity during lab week?
Oh yeah, so the last lab week, I remember now. so everyone dressed the same, some concept dress, like everyone in black in one day, or everyone wears the checked dress or the striped dress. So that was perfect. So
Wow!
So that looks awesome. So the whole 5 days, we take group pictures. So everyone looks very similar. That's a cool thing.
Outstanding coordinated dress days.
Yes.
That's a new one for me. Thank you so much for your time. We appreciate it. We respect you, your work, and really everything that you're doing for the transplant community.